everyone, and happy Thursday. Today is May 28th, 2020. Today is Inside Out and Joke Day, so I hope you're wearing your clothes inside out like myself. Look, my pockets are on the inside. The whole thing is just flipped. And I hope you're still wearing your accessories. Look, I've got a brand new necklace for today. And I've got a brand new hat to match my outfit. All right, I'm going to share with you a new joke I heard that I really loved. So some of you may know, but I really love bicycles. I really love to ride them. And now that it's getting nicer out, you may see a lot more people out with them. So here's my joke. Why do bicycles fall over? Can you take a guess? Because they're too tired. Please share your favorite joke with us in a video, in a picture, in a comment below. Send it to myself or your teachers, Miss Hammond. We'd love to hear them and get a good laugh and share that with you. And one last thing before we officially get started. I know, so many announcements. Please make sure you are sending your Day of the Arts videos to your co-curricular teachers, Miss Ribeiro, Mr. Demas, Miss Edwards, or Mr. Carey, or send them to your teachers so that they can send them to the co-curricular teachers. Your videos have to be in by Monday, June 1st. I'm going to put the picture up on the screen about what your video can include. All right? Make sure you're getting those videos in. Be creative. We can't wait to see what you come up with. All right, friends. Today is also the last day of poetry. I know. We are ending with that challenge of writing limericks. Before we get into writing limericks, you already know what time it is. It is shout out time. All right. Now, I have a shout out for a lot of new scholars who have not been mentioned in my videos just yet, and I'm super proud of them and excited because that shows that you've been working so hard, not just for a shout out, but to learn new things and really push yourself. Because writing limericks is hard. I think it's one of the hardest things we've learned all year. That's just my opinion. All right, so these friends, they took their time in making sure in their organizer that lines 1, 2, and 5 had words that rhymed with each other. Lines 3 and 4 rhymed with each other, and they made sure that they only wrote the word. And they made sure that they were different words. And some of you even challenged yourself to write about new topics that you haven't been writing about, which is awesome. All right, so we're going to celebrate those friends now. If you are a friend who had a little trouble with this, I want you to write down what was tricky so your teachers can go over it in your conference with you. All right, but without further ado, shout out to Kinsley, Abdi, Malcolm, Isaac, Sterling, Divine, Joshua, Isaac, Adrian, and Dahlia. Great job, loves. lesson, you are going to need your limerick organizer from yesterday. It looks like this. And you're going to need a new piece of paper. If you printed it from the Google Drive, it already has everything on it. But if you didn't, you are going to set your paper up to look like this. Now, on the one on the Google Drive, it does not have these numbers on the side, but I want you to write them in. So these numbers represent the number of syllables that your limerick has to have each line, okay? So not only does a limerick have to rhyme at certain parts, but it also has to have a certain amount of syllables. Lots of rules. All right, so the first two have 8 or 9. The second two have 5 or 6. And the last one has 8 or 9. So remember, lines 1, 2, and 5 rhyme with each other. Lines 3 and 4 rhyme with each other. And you can actually, just gave me a good idea right now, label them on the side so you know which ones have to rhyme with each other. Okay? So pause the video or look at the picture, take some time, grab all of your materials, and then come back and join me. All right, just a little review of limericks before we actually start writing. Limericks, they have a specific number of lines, stanzas, and syllables. So we learned that a line is a single row of words in a poem. We learned that a stanza is a group of lines in a poem separated by a space. And we learned that the syllable is a part of a word, usually a vowel, that makes a single sound when spoken. Okay? We also learned that limericks are what? They're silly, which is perfect since it's joke day today. They're silly. They're very funny. We know that there are 5 lines, okay? And we talked about those rhymes. All right, so let's get started. It's that time, friends. Okay, where it says a limerick, that's going to be your title. We're going to save that for the end as always. Where it says by, you're going to write in your name, so go ahead and do that now. Your name is a proper noun, so make sure that the first letter is a what? A capital. Make sure those letters are tall, small, and fall. I'm going to show you mine. So this is my full name. And notice that my capital goes above the line. My tall letter, T and H, they go above the line. My J falls below, my P falls below, and everything else is in the middle, okay? Make sure you're writing as neat as possible. Okay, now time for the fun part. You're going to take your organizer, okay? And let's look at that first line. So I wrote Sid, and some of you may have written a name too. You want to think of your poem as telling a story. You still want your reader to learn something. So you're going to use that first line as the subject. You can, especially if it's a name, right? So try thinking of a line that you would open your story with, all right? Build it with your fingers. So here I go. There once was a boy named Sid. There once was, and I'm looking at my notes to make sure I got everything. Oh, I said he was poor. There once was a poor boy named Sid. Okay, so I've got all my words. And now I'm going to write them down, stretch them out, or write them from memory. Then we're going to count syllables. So here I go. There. And when you're done, put your pencil down. We are going to take our time with this one, which is okay. Writing is thinking, and just like you take your time with your thoughts, I want you to take your time with your writing. Okay, so this is how my first line looks. There once was a poor boy named Sid. Sounds like a story, correct? So we're going to count the syllables. There, one. Just like a haiku, you're going to write it on the top. Once, one. Was, one. A, one. Poor, one. Boy, one. Named, one. Sid, one. Then you're going to add them all up, and they have to add to 8 or 9. So let me count mine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it should look like this. I want all of you to do this so you don't end up confused. Okay? Now, when I go back to my brainstorm, I'm going to cross out what I've already used so I stay on track and stay organized. So I cross off poor and I cross off Sid because I already used that. So now it's time to move to line 2. We're going right in order. I go to line 2 and the word I chose says did. Okay? Now I go to my notes and I wrote, thought he knew a lot. So I'm going to think on what I was trying to say in my story, and you're going to do the same thing. You're not just writing words that rhyme with each other. Your poem has to make sense. Okay? All right, so I'm going to think, and as I think, you think too. I got it. And when you got it, I want you to take out your hands and map it out. So here I go. Once you've got it, these are just the number of words. These are not the amount of syllables. I repeat, these are not the amount of syllables. You will write that down after. Once you've got your words for your next line, you're going to write that down. Here we go. Make sure you're giving yourself enough space. I say that because I kind of squished mine in. So make sure you're giving yourself enough space. Okay. Now we're going to count out those syllables. So as I do mine, I want you to do yours. So you're writing it right on top of the word. Here I go. Who? One. Thought. One. He. one, new, one, more, one, then, one, he, one, did, one. Count them all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And when you're done, put your pencil down, take a look and see that it has 8 or 9 syllables. And I'm going to put a little star here and a little star here, because lines 1 and 2 rhyme with each other. Sid, did, they both say id. Now remember, in thinking about it making sense, it has to read like a story. So here I go with mine from the beginning. There once was a poor boy named Sid who thought he knew more than he did. It's kind of like a nursery rhyme. If you think about all those little nursery rhymes you heard when you were a little baby, that is what this is like. Okay, once you're done with that, you're going to cross off your second line and any notes that you included from your organizer. So, this is what it looks like. Now we're going to move to our third line. So for our third line, we're going to jump to the second box because that's where line 3 is. I wrote shark. So I'm thinking about where I wanted my story to go, and you're thinking about yours. Once you've got it, map it out on your fingers. Once you've got it, and we'll count those syllables after. All right, when you're done, put your pencil down. We're going to count the syllables. Now, I want to make sure you know this is going to be different because this line and the next one only have to have 5 or 6 syllables. So here I go. My line was, he thought that a shark. He, one. Thought, one. That, one. A, one. Shark, one. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. Now notice that there are a lot of words that only have 1 syllable. That usually makes it easier for you to add them together. If you are using one that is more than 1, I want you to be mindful of that when you are counting. Okay? So now I cross that off my organizer. And now we're on line 4. Okay, line 4. I wrote bark. Bark rhymed with shark. So I'm thinking of where I wanted my story to go. And you're going to build it on your fingers. Once you've got it, write it down word by word, stretching those out, really looking at those heart words. You know them, so trust your gut. And if you don't, taking your time. And once you're done, put that pencil down. And we're going to count the syllables. So I wrote, would turn tail if you bark. Okay? So here I go. Would, 1. Turn, 1. Tail, 1. If, 1. You, 1. Bark, 1. You're going to add them together and count them up. Okay. Now for these ones, I underlined the ending words again so you could see that they rhyme, and I put 2 hearts so you could see the difference that these first 2 rhyme with each other, these next 2 rhyme with each other, and then this next one we're going to go back to this one. Okay? So I cross that off my organizer. Miss Andrews meant tall when I said tail. It's okay, everyone makes mistakes. I meant tall, not tail. But if I clap out tall, it's still 1. Okay. I just looked at my notes and I wrote turn tall, not tail. So it's important to check your notes, check your plan. All right, and the last one, okay? You're going to go back to line 5. So I wrote kid, so I'm going to think of where I wanted it to go. And then map it on your fingers. When you've got it, you know what to do. And once you're done, put that pencil down. We are going to count our syllables. Here we go. So, 1. He, 1. Swam, 1. Out, 1. 2. 1. Try, 1. It, 1. Pour, 1. Kid, 1. Once you've written them on top of your words, I want you to add those plus signs and I want you to count them up. So mine actually totaled 9 this time. I'm going to underline my ending word and I'm going to put a little star so you can see it rhymes with the first two. Okay? So this is what it looks like. Lines 1, 2, and 5 rhyme with each other. Sid, did, kid, they all say id. Lines 3 and 4 rhyme with each other. Shark, bark, they both say ark. And lines 1, 2, and 5 have 8 or 9 syllables, and lines 3 and 4 have 5 or 6. Once you are done with that, you are going to cross that last one off your organizer. Right? And you can put your title. So what is your poem about? So I'm gonna write, I said that he was poor and his name was Sid, so I'm gonna name it Poor Sid. You're gonna name yours and write that right in at the top. Once you're done, you are going to draw a picture. So I'm gonna draw, some water. I have a shark. Okay, it's a shark. I'm gonna have some lines coming out for the bark. And here I have Sid. He's gonna be like shocked. And he thought he knew more than he did, so I'm gonna add a thought bubble and be like, I know this. He thought the shark would turn tall if you bark, so he tried to bark too. There's my picture. Okay? And that is your limerick. I want you to give yourself a pat, pat, pat on the back, back, back for a job well done. Because that was really tricky. And I'm just so excited to see what your limericks are about. So I'm going to read mine out loud. I'm going to see if it makes sense, see if it sounds like a story. Here I go. There once was a poor boy named Sid who thought he knew more than he did. He thought that a shark would turn tall if you bark, so he swam out to try it. Poor kid. All right. Until tomorrow, friends, where we'll be doing something else. Take care.